I'm back. It's been about 5 or 6 days. It's day 10 of my all-in recovery project, and it's kind of been rough. I got food poisoning on Thursday. It's now Wednesday, and my stomach is still not right. So you can imagine that has put a wrench in this project because every time I eat something, my stomach hurts. And it wasn't like puking, it was just like blinding stomach pain. So my system just is not working. And I don't think it's an all-in thing because I hadn't changed my diet extremely. I'd added in some more fats, but they weren't bothering me. And then I had this Burger King meal, which did it to me. And ever since then, I've had trouble really digesting anything, no matter what it is. It seems worse in the morning. Once I get some food flowing in my system, it seems to calm down. But that first few hours of the day are really rough, and then I'm just kind of not right the rest of the day still. So I'm hoping this passes in the next day or two. It's definitely getting better, but it's really made it difficult to be all in and to even really have a big appetite because you're in pain and you just don't want to make it worse. So I have managed to eat. I haven't eaten like somebody who goes all in would eat, but I have managed to kind of keep up my calories above, I think still above what I was eating before I started all in. So I'm doing okay considering. I wasn't expecting that at all. And it's only day 10. I do feel like I have gained some weight. I'm not using the scale at all. It's just way too triggering for me, and I am surrendering to the weight gain because it is a natural part of the process. Again, I know I've mentioned it before, but it is really kind of a dual-pronged project here. You really have to gain weight, or at least eat in a way that you were afraid that you were going to gain weight. So you have to replenish your system. You have to get out of what Tabitha Farrar calls your energy deficit that you've been in because you've been dieting for however long and not having enough calories. So you have to feed your body to get out of this energy deficit. Doesn't matter if you're overweight, underweight, what. Even if you're obese and you have been dieting, you still have an energy deficit, and that is why you're craving food. That is why you gain weight at the drop of a hat, is because you're in this energy deficit and your primal brain thinks that you're starving, or that food will be taken away at any time, or that food is scarce where you're at. And so once you feed your body for an extended amount of time, more than enough food, then eventually it will get that you are not in this deprivation state of energy and food. So you have that. That's one side. The other side is totally mental, because your brain also thinks that food is scarce or that it's going to be scarce at any moment. So if you have a history of binging and then purging with the diet or vomiting or whatever your purge may be, over exercising, you will expect that food you're eating right now is going to go away, and it's going to go away in a bad way. So that, or you will be punished with exercise or whatever your purge may be. So you need to retrain your brain to understand that there's not going to be what I feel as punishment for eating. It always, for me, has been punishment because food was always taken away from me because I was overweight. I mean, it was taken away from me anyway because we were a family that was into health food, and we weren't allowed to have all the things that as children, my brother and I wanted, and we were always deprived of those things. So there was that, and then when I turned 12, then it became apparent to me that there was something wrong with my body, and that's why I didn't deserve food. And so overeating, there was always a punishment, whether it was disapproval, whether it was fat gain, whether it was rejection from people, whatever it might be. there was always a price to be paid for eating. So you can imagine the fear over, years and years and years of every time I ate something that I wasn't supposed to eat, or that might cause me to gain weight, or even too much of even a good thing, there was going to be a punishment. So the second part of the project is retraining the brain to understand that the body deserves the food, the body will not be punished for eating the food, and that fat is not a punishment, that there is nothing wrong with it, that is just the phase that my body wants to be in at this point. And it's actually, I'm looking at it as a state of recovery, almost like if I had come down with a life-threatening illness, that the only cure would cause me to gain 50 pounds. There's not a soul on earth that would begrudge me those 50 pounds. And so I know within me, even if no one else understands, that I deserve to gain that 50 pounds to recover from this illness. And I'm giving myself that. See, I'm getting emotional because a lot of emotions have come up in this. I'm giving myself that grace to gain that weight as the cure for what I have suffered from my entire life. And I think what struck me most over the last 6 days is the emotion and the love that has brought up in me for myself, just by saying I'm going to give myself that grace. I'm going to love myself into this cure, and that 50 pounds is a welcome part of that. If I do gain 50, I don't even know, but assuming that that's going to happen is part of it. And it's part of accepting fat gain. And it's really, I see people searching for the answer the way I did of how do I do this without getting fat? And I have bad news. You may not get fat in the process, but there is no healing from disordered eating without acceptance of fat gain. And I don't want to say resignation, because it doesn't become resignation. It becomes almost a welcoming of it. When you decide to love yourself enough to do this, you welcome it because it is just part of the cure. And what this has done to me in this process is show me what loving myself is. And it's also caused me to reflect on everything I've ever been through in my life and love the things I've been through that were previously very difficult for me. And almost defend myself in situations where I hadn't defended myself in the past because I maybe thought I deserved it. I maybe thought I deserved rejection. I maybe thought I deserved judgment. And I've spent several days just defending myself in a new way that I never really did before. I am able to look at myself with love and realize that I deserve to be defended. I deserve to be loved for who I am. I didn't deserve to be torn down. I didn't deserve to be rejected for whatever I was rejected for. I actually feel like I have a leg to stand on all of a sudden after all these years of I'm allowed to defend myself. And there's so many things in my past that I have just resigned myself to as I'm the bad guy or I am the inferior one. That I never really even defended myself in my own mind like I should. And it causes you to hold on to things. It causes things to fester, and it contributes to hating yourself, and it contributes to hating your body. And it's like, I feel like I'm cleaning house in the brain right now. And it's really cool, to be honest. It's really cool. I didn't expect that from this at all. I didn't expect to gain strength as far as who I am and my rights as a human being and my worth, and it really goes hand in hand. So I would add that as a very positive part of this process. And I know that the fear of weight gain kept me from trying to do this for years, probably 13 years. I've been looking at the process of getting away from my eating disorders and being able to eat whatever I want and getting back to a normal attitude about food. 13 years. And because I was constantly looking for a way to do it without fat gain, I never could find the answer. And that's because there is no answer without acceptance of fat gain. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but if you cling on to that not happening, then you'll never do it. And the first time you gain any amount of weight, you're going to diet to take it off, or you'll panic, or you'll hate yourself. But all you have to do is accept that. You have to accept the bigger body, and then everything just falls right into place. And the sense of peace and the healing in that is so huge. I just would recommend it 100%. So I don't want to make this video too long today. I just wanted to let you know that I'm still keeping on, and that the benefits so far have very much outweighed the deficiencies of the situation. So I would say go for it. I'll talk to you later.